Hello and welcome, I'm Stormo, and this is once again the Star Wars Battlefront beta, and I wanted to address something that I thought of only after I recorded the video I made last weekend about this game, and that is the fact that this game, I was wondering as I played it, and I put a bit more time into it after the video. I got to the maximum rank in the game. Not having much luck finding anyone around at the moment, but anyway, we got to the max rank in the game, and I sort of started wondering about the way this game is being sold, particularly its sort of business model, I suppose is the best way to say it. And I realised that this game should probably be free to play, or perhaps there's a strong argument to be made that this game should be free to play. And I've been thinking about this a bit more as I've... Whoa, where did they come from? I've been thinking about this a bit more as I've played it a bit more, and there's a couple of really good arguments in favour of Star Wars Battlefront being a free-to-play game. The first one is that a lot of its models are for free-to-play anyway, and it has no dedicated single-player campaign, for example, which is usually something that you would get in like a free-to-play first-person shooter. They'll have either a limited or very basic free-to-play setup. And I thought, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, what was that up there? Yep. And yeah, the more I thought about it, the more I realised that this game, yeah, it makes a lot of sense that this game be free-to-play. Basically, as I said, no dedicated single-player. But more importantly than that, everything else about this game just screams that it could be easily converted to that kind of model. You have the upgrades and unlock system, and there's no reason that aspects of that, particularly the player customization, which isn't actually a feature in the beta. You can't customize players, but this game will have, in its final version, the option to customize players, and cosmetic customization functions are, of course, always a good beta option. This game also really badly needs a melee attack. It's something that bothers me a lot with this game. There should be like a close-range melee attack. Maybe there is, but I haven't figured out if there is or not. None of the buttons I've pressed have activated one. Anyway, speaking of close-range, we should probably... Oh, being shot again. We're dead. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so I kept thinking, you know, the more I think about this, the more this makes sense. And obviously when you suggest that something should be free to play, you've immediately sort of, you know, said one of those awful words that everyone thinks about, and especially because we're talking about an EA product here, and EA's record with free to play products is not the greatest, let's be honest. But that doesn't mean to say they can't do it right at least once. And the thing is, I wondered about this game, and it was something someone on Twitter mentioned to me after I sort of raised this idea on Twitter, which was about how they felt that the same thing should happen with Titanfall, which came out last year and which... I just got destroyed. I've got one of those and I can't be that good with it. But Titanfall was a game that came out last year, wasn't free to play, but it was also a game that never quite built any kind of really good player community. And as such, it became... well, as the person I was speaking to on Twitter pointed out, the community for Titanfall is pretty much non-existent these days. Like, it still has a small number of players, but there hasn't been a lot in the way of, I suppose, post-release support. There haven't been any kind of major expansions or updates for it. And it feels like a pretty dead game at this point. And for a game that is essentially a multiplayer-only online shooter, that's a pretty sad state of affairs to be in, because it should have more options. I should be using that more too. This personal shield is actually not that great. I really need to unlock the jetpack. But yeah, so Titanfall is very definitely a game that should be... should have more of a community, and one of the advantages of giving it more of a community is, well, one of the ways to give it more of a community is to make it free to play, make everyone able to access it. That was always going to happen. And then build the community around some kind of model that allows players to customize or upgrade or whatever. I mean, I don't want to suggest that the game should go what a lot of detractors will say is pay to win. And I don't see that as a bad thing. And I think they made the point about Star Wars Battlefront that it may end up like Titanfall in that it is a game that everyone plays for a couple of months and then the community just drops off really dramatically and you go back to it in 6 months' time and it just won't have anything worth playing. There's no long-term plan for upgrades or anything like that. It seems like a really interesting thing to explore is this idea that this game should go that way. Trying to concentrate on actually playing and talking at the same time is really fun. But yeah, and Titanfall, like I said, is a good example. I'm doing okay here actually, I'm getting kills. I'm actually playing better than I normally play this game. That guy now. But yeah, now obviously if EA's model for this game doesn't involve long-term support, then that's going to happen anyway because it's going to be a game that comes out, receives maybe a few post-release patches to fix bugs and all that kind of stuff, but doesn't get new content. And if this game doesn't get new content after release, even if it doesn't go free to play, then it's going to be a dead game. I fell in the pit, I'm going to die. Cannot get out of there easily. Those pits need reworking. Anyway, yeah, if they're not going to support this game, you know, with updates and expansions after the release, then I feel like it's sort of a wasted opportunity. Like, there's a lot of potential in Star Wars Battlefront as a game that replicates the Star Wars combat experience, and it does it really well. The guns sound great, that pew pew noise that these guns have, you know, all that kind of stuff. Sorry, they're not guns, they're blasters. This is Star Wars. You don't have guns in Star Wars. And it's overhead my gun. And it does it really well, but keep in mind this game does not have a dedicated single player. There is no campaign, and there are no plans to add a campaign mode for this game, which means that when you pay your full retail price for this game, which will be here in Australia probably $80, $90 or maybe a bit more depending on where you buy it from. When you pay your full retail price for this game, you are getting a single player, you are getting a multiplayer online experience that you could mostly get by just downloading, I don't know, Team Fortress 2 for free. Or perhaps more pertinently, you could download something, perhaps, I'm just trying to think, something like Warframe or anything like that. But there are a lot of online multiplayer shooters. I've been playing Warframe, so it's the one that comes to my mind most immediately at the moment. He was on my side, so... Oh, we lost that one. Oh. Don't use... This gun doesn't have much of a, an iron sights or a zoom. I just kept getting shot then. Go with the E11. Oh, okay, there we go. Anyway, yeah, so... I feel that there's a missed opportunity by EA here to build a really big community around this game and create a Star Wars experience that everybody can like. And I also think that they'll end up actually making more money this way. Offering a free-to-play model with customization options, maybe a few upgrade options, cosmetic upgrade options, or not so much options, but if you take Warframe as an example again, where you can have everything in Warframe instantly if you're willing to pay the money. On the other hand, if you're willing to wait, you can have it all without paying money. And it just depends on how you feel. I had no health. How you feel about doing that. And see, the thing is, people associate... Oh, we lost. Oh well. People associate free-to-play games with, you know, bad transaction models, bad business models, all that kind of stuff. And they become, I guess, problematic in a lot of ways, so... But in some ways, I suppose that doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. Like, Team Fortress 2 has had a hat-based economy for years. Even before it was free to play, it was all about the hats. and they just got rid of the initial asking price for it, and now it is basically, yeah, exactly. And that's what this game needs. It needs hats. Literally needs hats. Like I said, the customization options can happen, or you could go something like Warframe, where you can either get everything in game if you wait for a time period, or you just, you just have to go through and do pay real money, and that way works too. You've got the card hands over here. You've got the equips and up customization. So there's an appearance customization option you can have. Weapons, you could do a crafting system with the weapons, I guess, or just let them unlock. You don't have to do that. I see cards as being a potential thing for this as well. The option of buying different cards for real money or waiting for timed unlocks. I'm not sure how they would want to do that, but and it just to me feels like without that kind of thing, without post-release support too, which is also going to be super important in this game. There's a storm just there. Oh, why did you personal? Was that a melee attack? Does this game actually have a melee attack? Huh. I didn't know this game had a melee attack. Oh, there you go. I've learned something fascinatingly new, and I just got killed again. Anyway, so yeah, I'm not sure there's much more I want to add. Oh, yeah, there is. So what bothers me about this game is that it's not going to have a long-term community, I don't think, without post-release support from DICE, which I don't know if it's going to get that or not. Like, DICE haven't announced any kind of expansion or upgrade model for it. Don't know if there's a season pass even available for this game. I think it's just sort of coming out as is. And I understand, and again, I just got blown up. I understand, of course, with a game like this where it's a licensed title as well, that you can end up in a situation where you have to deal with demands of the licenses and license fees and all that kind of stuff, and maybe that comes into play as well. And that's all, I wouldn't say problematic, but it's all part of what you have to deal with when you're putting. So it could even be that licensing doesn't allow for that kind of business model. But it seems to me that you could make a pretty strong case to the licensors, who I guess would be Disney these days for this kind of, for Star Wars. I guess you can make a strong claim to the licensors. Wow, that went horrifically badly. I got killed by an infantry turret. I'm not doing well at all. But you make a strong case to the licensors. There's more money in producing the game. Whoa. Someone around there was just constantly shooting me. I don't know where to go with that. We're getting absolutely destroyed here. And it doesn't help that I'm trying to concentrate on both talking and shooting Imperials at the same time. So. Okay, it's over there this time. I saw an Imperial just coming across there. Anyway, sorry, I don't know how that happened. I suppose the important thing to keep in mind here is that free-to-play isn't a dirty word. It certainly shouldn't be a dirty word. You're down, you're not down. Okay. It definitely shouldn't be a dirty word. There are great examples of free-to-play games that are really fun. Team Fortress 2 is one I mentioned. Warframe, which I'm really having a lot of fun with at the moment, is another one. And Warframe probably has some problems with the way it presents itself, but they're problems that this game doesn't need to fall into if it doesn't want to, I suppose. It's all about how EA wants to, I suppose, I hate using the term, but monetize. How EA wants to monetize the game. And all that kind of stuff. And like I say, I mean, to me, it actually benefits the license more by doing that and creating a free-to-play system, giving the game long-term support where it's getting, help, and that grenade's going to explode and kill me. I killed myself. Oh boy. Okay. I'm not having a good run here. Yeah, I'm doing really badly. So yeah, free to play shouldn't be the dirty word that in a lot of people's minds it is. The idea that you can get that because you didn't pay for it means that a game is somehow an inferior product, I think is a bad one, and I think it's a harmful one in a lot of ways too. It's one of those ideas that I guess limits the freedom of developers to create games in specific ways. And I can actually think of another really popular first-person shooting experience around at the moment that may benefit from a free-to-play model at some point in its future. Maybe not quite now, but in the future. And that game is Destiny, which I think I can see in a few years down the track, perhaps. In fact, it probably should have from the start. It could have been redesigned around it. I'm going the wrong way. I thought I could come around these rocks, and I couldn't. By the way, I'm playing this map because it's actually the one I like the most out of the currently available multiplayer maps. I cannot get the hang of the base assault one, or whatever it is, the Hoth map. I just have not been able to get the hang of that one. We're going to lose again. And it probably doesn't help that I haven't been a outstanding contributor to my team. But yeah, so I think that there's, yeah, like I was saying, that free-to-play shouldn't be a dirty word, and I think we treat it as one because there are some very bad free-to-play models. This game doesn't have to have a bad one. I mean, okay, yeah, it's EA, so... But even EA have... I'm pretty sure EA have at least one free-to-play game that isn't terrible. Well, Plants vs. Zombies 2 is free-to-play, and it's not bad. Oh, just getting absolutely destroyed. It's not bad. And I should be using partner start. That's the other problem I'm having at the moment. Oh well. EA probably have some good examples. Other companies have good examples. Like I say, TF2 is one that I think is pretty good. And I think overall, there's a really good argument. Yeah, we lost. We lost because I'm terrible. I'm really sorry about that, team. Oh man, I did really badly. I got like 1 kill in all of that. I did really well the first time too. That was great. This time just couldn't maintain it. Oh well. But, anyway, so yeah, that's my argument basically, is that this game should be free to play, and it should be free to play because it offers something that I think works best these days with a free to play model. I think that if it had a comprehensive single player, if it had like an 8 or 9 hour campaign, then sure, it should be. You should have to pay for that. You could even do it in a way where that's something you buy. The multiplayer is free, and that's something you buy. There are games around that have that kind of setup. I'm not going to keep playing at this point. I've said all I want to say, really. I just wanted to get this video out. I'm actually recording this a few days early because of the fact that the beta closes before this video is going to go up, so I don't really want to take part in a short questionnaire about the game, no. But yeah, that's kind of my contention, basically, is that Star Wars Battlefront should probably go free to play because of the fact that it presents a game that we've seen done with free to play models now, and once you've sort of gone that direction, I think that it's hard to go back from that in a lot of ways. And whether it takes a TF2 style model where it's all about the hats or the customization, or some other model that I can't even think of yet. Maybe DLC packs, for example. It's like, you know, like if you want more maps or something, you buy packs of downloadable content or something like that. And I think that the end result will be that the game has a much longer shelf life in that kind of situation. And I know EA are pretty terrible when it comes to having games with a long shelf life. Like, this game won't have more than 2 or 3 years as it is, but it could prolong that and make that a more profitable 2 or 3 years if it were a game that had a microtransaction model that was free for everyone to play. It would get onto more people's computers. And I think overall, in the long run, it would be more profitable as a game in that regard. And it sort of blows my mind. And that's despite the fact that it's a Star Wars-based game. We have seen free-to-play Star Wars games. The Old Republic, for example, didn't start out that way, but is now a free-to-play game. Even though it's got some weird limitations with that. And I can see this game really benefiting a lot from that kind of thing. So yeah, that's just a quick thought, something I forgot about to mention in the other video about whether or not this game should be free to play. But yeah, and I think ultimately it would benefit the game, especially because, as I said, it has no single player. So yeah, that's my views on this. If you disagree, then feel free to mention why in the comments. Like I said, I personally don't feel free to play is as dirty a word as a lot of people think it is. I think that there are such things as good free to play games. And I've been playing one recently, Warframe, which I'm enjoying a lot. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I want to say. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.